Welcome to Why They Play the Game, a show created to discuss the NBA on and off the court. I'm just one of your co-hosts, Michael Eric Owens.
And I'm Ken Hayes.
Hey, my brother, how you doing today?
Good, man. How you doing?
Oh man, it's another day in the neighborhood.
Okay.
Ken, man, we getting close to the end of the season to hit the play-in tournament. Folks, please hit that like and that subscribe and that notification button. We appreciate the comments off the last show.
Oh,
The
definitely.
comments were,
Yes.
were hot. So we appreciate that and keep them coming. Keep us telling us what you thinking about, what's on your mind, what you disagree with. Hey, we like disagreement. Tell us we wrong. Give us some data. Give us some facts. We're open to that, to great debate. And so, Ken, as we move toward the play-in, you see, I had to put a different hat on today because I have to ride them now, Ken. I can't ride.
Okay.
I can't ride my Bucks because they
They eliminated.
they eliminated, man. So, Ken, talk about. Let's talk about, man, this tanking thing. What are your thoughts, Ken, about these teams supposedly that are tanking for the lottery?
So let's start this way, Mike. Um, Tanking has been around for the longest. When we first, or I should say, when the NBA first started with the lottery, and Ewing was the first number one pick overall, and they had the lottery. New York was tanking to try to get Patrick. We look at it, the situation in Cleveland when LeBron was going to come out. Cleveland tanked. When San Antonio, or when Tim Duncan came out that year, San Antonio tanked to get Tim Duncan. So it's been around for a long time. So I, you know, I'll say this is that teams are going to do that to get that first pick or to move up in the lottery. Um, I just think is real to me is really about nothing. I mean, I get it. Players should be available to play. But as far as I'll say their resolutions or the things that they think they're going to solve it is that number one, they talk about doing a draft, a flattened draft lottery odds, so the bottom six teams will have the same chance of getting the number one pick.
Mm.
And we've always known, Mike, that the worst team I think, should get the number one pick. But they're taking, um, obviously, that the NBA is trying to prevent that. I get it to a point. Then let's just say their number two option is to have a play-in tournament for the teams who don't make the playoffs. But on the other hand, you know, you're having players play more games for the team to get a position in the lottery, which doesn't make any sense to me. And we'll get a little bit more specific. And then the third option is the multi-year draft position, which is based on your last 2 to 3 years performance. Mike, we've talked about this in previous shows, and you mentioned that if a team is just obviously tanking and not playing their players that's available, you said take their pick away from them. It's just that simple, Mike. And the thing that just bothers me most of all is that load management should be, I think, your number one concern because fans like I'm coming to the game, or you know we're spending all this money on a ticket, or for a family, and and the star, or let's just say the star player, I need some rest. Man, come on. And then they complain about these back to backs. I'm like, man, you get paid to play basketball. That's what kills me. And Mike, I get it. If you injured, yeah, you don't play, but you available. So I just think that this lottery, uh, how can I put it? this lottery where they want to put restrictions on teams, I just don't think it's good for the NBA. You let me know.
Ken, I listen, as you pointed out, man, it's simple. It's simple. If a team is tanking, and we can clearly look at teams and tell that they're just not putting out the effort, they're not playing their. We've had teams. I remember the Bucks played. I forget who they had played in the. If I think about it in a minute, but in the fourth quarter, they sat all their starters out against the Bucks, and because they didn't want to win the game, and so I think it was Sacramento. It might have been Sacramento Kings. So what I'm saying is, like, those, if you do that, if you don't compete, just take away your draft pick, and I guarantee you that will stop. That will stop. If the NBA wants to solve this problem, it's not a difficult problem to solve. Okay, listen. To me, knee soreness is not a reason not to play. Ankle soreness, calf soreness. What does that mean? Like, what can you? Yeah, we at the age where we got soreness every day. So I guess we don't do anything. We just lay in our bed. We don't have the best trainers. We don't have we don't have somebody cooking for us. We don't have somebody getting out washing and cleaning our uniforms. We're not flying private jet. We're not. Ken, and you trying to tell me you have knee soreness? Like, what is that, man? Like, I'm sorry, folks. I'm sorry. When I hear soreness, I hear you can play. Okay? Oh, he got stiffness. What is, man, listen, I'm watching March Madness. Okay. Who was it that last night just twisted their ankle? Oh, it was Braden Smith. Twist his ankle. Man, he looked, if that was the NBA, he'd be gone.
He'd be set down, right?
He would be. They take him back to the locker room. Oh, he won't be back. He twisted his ankle. He tied his stuff up. He didn't come out the game.
Right.
This is what I'm talking about, man. Like, you might say, well, yeah, that's an important game. Listen, these players make, some of them, millions of dollars per game, and billions of dollars are coming into the NBA every week. Billions of dollars in advertising dollars and ticket sales and league pass sales, streaming services. And you're telling me this dude is sitting out because he's got back soreness. What did Larry Bird do? Larry Bird laid down when he came out. I'm just saying, man, like, you have to dismiss me with load management. There should not be a load management in the NBA, Ken. I'm done with it. It should be you're injured or you're playing. There's no load management. These guys are, these guys are 20-some years old. Oh, yes, he's sitting out tonight. He's got some stiffness in his elbow. He's 20-some years old. When, as an athlete, let me ask you, do you think Olympic athlete, every time they get out and run, they in perfect condition? Do you think some of them run when they have soreness? Do they compete when they have soreness, kid?
Oh, definitely.
Why we treat these basketball players, man, as if they are, listen, that's the problem with the league. That's the problem with the lack of competition in the league. And we're going to talk about expansion. But Ken, expansion under these conditions is a nightmare. Ooh. And we'll talk about that. But Ken, look at some of these records, Ken. Hold on for a second, Ken. Can I give you some records, Ken?
Go ahead.
Okay, let's look at this right quick. Sacramento Kings, 19-56. 19-56. The Indiana Pacers, 15-53.
Oops. And they competed for the championship last year.
Can I give you just the Bucks? What, 28-40? 29-40, I think, and the Bulls are 28-40. Man, we're looking at Indiana, we're looking at Milwaukee, we're looking at Chicago,
Utah.
I mean, when you look at these teams, don't even talk about the Washington Wizards.
I was just about to mention them.
Listen, Ken, every year, these teams are not going anywhere because you know what happens, Ken? Who got the number one draft pick last year? Dallas?
Yeah.
Cooper Flag?
Like,
Why did Dallas get the number one pick last year? Because I don't care what anybody say. Y'all could argue with me. If they still had Luka, I guarantee you they wouldn't have got that number one pick. That was a payback for what they felt the NBA was a mistake, and they want Dallas to be one of those teams that people watch. Let's keep it real. Ain't no way Cooper Flag should have went to Washington. Cooper Flag should have went to one. Ken, why does it work? How can you be the worst team in the league and not get the best player?
Right, exactly.
What sense does that make? That perpetuates the cycle. If you never try to build these teams up, these teams that the Washingtons, when you talk about, I'm not even talking about Indiana or Milwaukee because they have been competing teams, but I'm talking about these legacy teams now that have been suffering. Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
When was the last time Chicago did anything, bro? We got to go back to the GOAT, bro. We got you might say with D Rose there,
right? I was thinking,
you know, but I'm talking about return back to their preeminence. No, and that's what brother Giannis needs to understand. When you break it, you might not never get it back. And if you go somewhere else, and we're gonna talk about that here in a minute too. But Ken, to me, I just think the worst team get the best player. It's simple. You take those bottom 6 teams and you line them up. That you line them up. They're going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Simple as that. Done with it.
Mike, let me do this. Let me give you some names. Trae Young.
Yep.
Anthony Davis.
Yep.
Ja.
Yep.
Jaren Jackson.
Okay.
So where they at? So you know, I think Trae is healthy to probably play right about now. Anthony Davis.
He got a podcast now, Ken. He got his own show.
Oh,
so he's doing this. So he's not playing basketball, but he's doing entertainment now in a different fashion. So
okay.
I thought that was anyway. Go ahead, Ken. So, I'm sorry, I digress.
It's okay, man. Because these players I think should be able to play based on what we hear as far as I think Trae. He been out for what 2 or 3 months. 2 months at best, I know.
Well, he was out before that when he was with Atlanta.
Yeah. So, the thing about it is that, it's obvious that Washington wants to get, be in contention to get that first pick. But, let's play. Let's compete. That's what you want to see. This load management is, I think, the greater problem than trying to, change the lottery. So I just think the NBA is going in the wrong direction with this.
It's a terrible look, man, and it doesn't get the teams that need the help. And for me, Ken, this is the first year, man, that I'm actually looking at NBA games and deciding whether or not I'm gonna watch them based upon who's playing who, because like I can say, like today, the Bucks play the Clippers at home. Ain't no sense in watching that. It's ridiculous. When you see, you might see a game, let's say Indiana versus San Antonio. Well, I'm watching that.
Anybody?
See, this is. But I remember in NBA where when I watched, I didn't know who was going to win.
Right.
I was rooting for my team, but I didn't know who was going to win because it was just that competitive.
It is.
And now we have, Ken. If anything else, Ken, you want to say about tanking?
No, man. Let's move on because the thing about it is that they're trying to change the rules to they're trying to come up with a solution to. I don't think there's the real problem there as far as the draft lottery. I know they're trying to prevent teams from tanking, but a different strategy needs to be put in place.
Don't you think the win now mentality has
Oh,
just corrupted the whole system that nobody wants to build. And when we talk about expansion, that we're going to go into, folks, our next topic, when we look at these teams, like me and Ken were talking before we came on the air, like San Antonio, Ken, like like you talked about how they have built their team through the draft. And I was pointing out to you, people don't remember when OKC was
oh,
22-60.
terrible.
Well, they had
Right.
those few years after they lost Harden, after they lost Russ and all of that, and how terrible they were. But they went into the draft and they got good players and they grinded and they grinded and they grinded. And we were talking about Detroit. Remember you and I? We were
Right.
like, man, Detroit's coming, dog, because they were doing it in the draft and they were grinding and they were grinding, and you were seeing how they were playing. Even when they went on that historic losing streak, you remember
Like
that?
what 22, 25? Yeah.
But
I
they were balling. They weren't getting blowed out. They were losing by 2 and 3 points, man. They just didn't know how to finish games.
right.
Now look at them now, because they built from within and they stayed together. Look at Boston, Ken. Boston, what in we've got Detroit, and then I think we got Boston, right? And
Right.
yeah, Detroit, Boston, New York, then Cleveland. Ken, JT ain't even been there
And they playing well.
because they've
Playing,
been
yeah.
together for years. This is the point I'm trying to make, dear Giannis, dear Bucks. Get rid of Doc Rivers, please, now. Fire him. He needs to go. Don't even let him finish. It's a tragedy to let this dude finish out this year. Give it to Darvin Ham. Get him out of here. Hopefully he'll go in the Hall of Fame. He can get back on the mic. But Doc Rivers' coaching days are over. I
And
hope it can.
that comes from a Bucks fan.
That come from a Bucks fan. His listen. I told Kid, I will say it on air, Kid. I told Kid, I said if Doc Rivers come back, I'm burning everything I got. That's the Bucks. I'm sorry, man. I can't take it, man. Get us a decent coach that understands today's game, today's players, rotations, and how to get the best out of players and how to develop players, because that's not Doc Rivers. But again, I digress again,
Digress.
Kid. I'm sorry. So, Ken, let's talk here about NBA expansion, man. What's your thoughts?
So, right now they have 30 teams and they want to go to 32. So the the places that you're looking at is Seattle, Washington, and Las Vegas, Nevada. So we know that Seattle has had a franchise in that city, and I think they deserve to have another one. But we had talked about a little bit more detail. But I mean, they have a strong fan base.
Mm-hmm.
You look at if you back in the day, Gus Johnson, Jack Sigma, John Johnson,
Hey,
downtown Freddie Brown. So they have a
hey,
culture.
don't get Sean Kemp.
Sean Kemp,
Hey,
Gary
the
Payton.
glove. Don't get the
Right.
glove out of there now. Oh yeah.
So they are a large media market. So it will be good to have
No doubt.
Seattle back in the mix. Then we look at Las Vegas. I guess everybody wants to come to Las Vegas now. So right now they have the Aces. In baseball, they have the Oakland Athletics moving to, Las Vegas. So, it's a big tourist and entertainment capital. I'm sure they're gonna have some strong corporate sponsorships and things like that. But let's go with Seattle. So you figure, oh, I remember when Ray Allen, Kevin Durant, they played for Seattle before they came to Oklahoma.
Yep.
I think you will see a lot of former players put their money together, especially for that Las Vegas franchise. And they're looking at, doing that within the next 2 years. Seattle, same thing. But my thing is that number one, with this expansion, you're looking at I'm gonna say between $2 and $5 billion, to get these expansion teams together, put together. So you'll see a lot of billionaires and millionaires, putting their money together. Um, the good thing, it may boost revenue for the NBA, but Mike, I think that the bad thing to add two more teams is just going to dilute the talent. I think the talent is going to be diluted within the NBA by expanding these two or expanding with two more teams. So
Ken, I co-sign on everything you said. I have seen numbers that propose the expansion can be between $7 and $10 billion. And so that is, yeah, you're right. That is, but I'm excited like you about the idea, of bringing
right,
back the Supersonics and having
right.
something in Vegas now with the football, the professional, teams that's there now. I'm sure they're excited, and I know the gamblers inside.
Oh man, they
I know
shoot,
they're
Mike.
excited, man. Hey, listen. If you play for Vegas, you better have a NDA sign, or you better have some sign that you ain't gonna even talk to, because I can imagine the pressure on them players, man, to throw some of those games. But that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But Ken, no, I agree with you, man, because when we think about it, Ken, the last expansion was in '04 with the Bobcats.
Okay. Okay.
That was a lot. So when we said 19 years, so it would be over 20 years before you have an expansion. Now we can look at the talent. Let's think about that. Charlotte now is just now becoming what? A decent
A
team.
contender.
20 years. 20 years, folks. So let's think about that for a moment. So man, you could not have not have said it better. It's going to dilute the league. The talent already is just, you got teams that cannot compete.
Yeah.
A lot of teams.
Right.
Let's be in the West Coast. Look at Memphis.
Yeah.
Come on, man. You got a lot of teams and we talked about Utah. Okay? Like, already you have teams that cannot compete. Where the players, you're going to have to take players from some teams, right? Players
you're gonna have the
leave.
expansion draft.
Okay, you have expansion draft. Then you're gonna have new players coming in. You don't have to be a basketball savant to understand that if you take good players from another team, you put them on another, it's not gonna make the league better. I understand, because Ken, this is about money, bro.
Oh man, come on.
At the end of the day, this is not about fandom. This is not about making the NBA a better product, because it's not. If it was about making the NBA product better, we would figure out how can we bring these teams that have been traditionally
Bad.
Ken. '04 is when Charlotte came into the league, and they're just about to make what? Okay, now we know they've had with Alonzo Mourning, they had some decent runs, but have they been to a final? Have they won an NBA championship? Have they had an MVP? Have they had multiple All-Stars?
No.
You understand what I'm saying? So when you
Right.
look at Charlotte in 20 years, you got to say it's been building. And now you look at them now and you go, I'm going to be honest with you, man. They one of my favorite teams to watch, bro.
Oh yeah,
They
get after
exciting
it.
to watch, man. They when Charlotte, their team now, just like we talked about with Detroit, you better come in and lace them up, because if you don't
yeah.
lace them up, you getting that L from them. Love how they playing, man. But again, they got to keep grinding and building. But it's taken, Ken, almost 20 years. So what happens when we bring in Seattle? What happens when we bring in Vegas? Is that going to be another? Are we going to add those teams to the Utahs, to the Washingtons, and now all of a sudden you have this bottom? Can we end with this scenario, right? So you have all these weak teams. You have your play-in, and the teams that win, they always get swept in the first round. So you're saying, why even watch the first round of the playoffs? Because these guys always get swept. They're not good enough to be in the playoffs, right? That's the argument I had against the play-in tournament anyway, because you're putting in teams that are not really good enough to get out of the first round, right? Will you have anomaly here and there? Yeah, you have somebody that will do it. But for the most part, they're going to go home. So, Ken, I just
Mike,
don't think
we
it's
got
good for the league, Ken.
we got another problem. So Vegas and Seattle are on the West Coast.
Oh, I never thought
So
about
now
that.
you got to do some realignment. So what teams are going to, let's just say, be moved over to the Eastern Conference to make it equal? I'll say this right
Mm,
away. Minnesota shouldn't even be in the Western Conference. I don't understand that for the life of me.
that's crazy, isn't it?
It
Yeah, yeah.
is.
Well, even think about Memphis.
I, that was my right. Memphis.
So,
Why are they?
oh, that
And
would
then
be
the
so. Oh, so Ken, you thinking they might
oh
move
yeah,
those two teams
they're
over
gonna
to
have
the?
to, Mike.
That is interesting,
Because
bro.
the thing about it, you want to have, let's just say, for travel purposes, number
Mm-hmm.
one, that teams on the West Coast play within that conference. So a
Yeah,
team like Minnesota, what you doing doing over there?
yeah.
Because you got to travel, from Minnesota. Let's just say from Minnesota to Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that don't make any sense.
Yeah, that don't
And
make no
then
sense, bro.
the other team also that they may have to realign is New Orleans.
Mm, mm.
So it's going to get interesting
I
because
definitely, I definitely agree. If those teams come in, and what we're talking, um, 28, 29, because the decision is this year. The ownership bid and planning is 26, 27, and the target debut is 28, 29
29,
season. So, Ken, I would welcome that Minnesota and Memphis into the
the
East.
East.
I would welcome that, man, and send. But what it's gonna do is it's gonna make the West top heavy as far as the teams that are good and the
Hmm.
teams that are
Terrible.
terrible, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
I mean
you think about it, right? Minnesota is one of the
top
better
team,
teams, yeah,
right?
in that. So you're gonna bring them, and then think about it. You have New York, you have Cleveland, you have Milwaukee, you have Indiana
Boston.
with Boston. Man, the East would be the beast if you bring them bad boy. If you bring Minnesota over, um, and even Memphis, man, because Memphis they gonna get back up in the saddle, man. They gonna turn it around. They gonna trade Ja. They have to trade him. I don't know where he's gonna go, but
They're
they gonna
going
have to trade. He ain't coming to Milwaukee. Trust me.
no, no,
He ain't coming to
please.
Milwaukee. We don't we don't
We got no
nah,
problems.
man, nah. Anybody that Milwaukee brings on the flip side, they have to have some type of defensive pedigree. You
I
just
got
can't
you.
bring offensive. You just we got too many shooters that can't create their own shot. That's the problem with Milwaukee. But again, I'm digressing a lot doing this segment. So Ken,
but
let's talk about. No, go ahead, Ken.
but the last thing with this, expansion is that you figure, Mike, that I said between, let's just say, 2 to 4 billion, and you said
Hmm.
there's chance up to 7 billion.
Seven. They say it's between 7 and 10 billion to
Right.
put in today's NBA to put together a franchise bid. It's got to have to be between 7 and 10 billion.
I mean, that's just instant revenue for the NBA.
Oh,
But what price is it going to, take for the overall NBA? You know, so like you said, these how the honeymoon for, let's just say, for expansion team, I'm gonna say 3 to 4 years. Then after that, you gonna have to start winning.
oh, you don't
You
have
know,
to start winning.
right? You gonna have to start putting a product that's win. Let's just say, I'll say on a regular basis, not just to be an expansion team anymore. We want to see some wins. We want to see you, let's just say, compete for the playoffs and things like that.
20 years.
That's the
20
time,
years,
right?
Ken.
Man.
That's that. It's not going to. Basketball is just one of those funny games, man, where when we see the teams that, and this is where we can segue into the trouble that's in our last segment. We're going to talk a little bit about the trouble that the Houston Rockets are having with all of that fanfare about Kevin Durant coming, and maybe this is Houston's year,
Hmm.
and we see the I don't maybe I'm just too old, man, but it's the same pattern. It's the same. These guys that go around to speed. You remember that speed dating thing? I don't know if they do that any longer, Ken. I know you ain't never been to it. I never been to it, but I know what it is. Like you go and you sit, I guess, a couple minutes with somebody, and you go sit a couple minutes. Man, these good players, they do speed team dating. Like they go to this team, they spend a little time, and then they go somewhere else, and they always think it's going to be better. And it always ends up the same way. Houston will not win a championship. Kevin is 37, Ken.
Yeah, making a lot of money.
38 next year. 38. Kev, best days are behind him. Listen, I was a Kevin Durant fan when he was at Texas.
Yeah.
And folks was like, man, like, yeah, he ain't big enough. I said, y'all don't understand, man. Ooh, y'all don't understand. Man. That boy is cold, smooth, sniper, and he has been that. The only problem I've had is with Kevin's decision. I wanted to see a team built around Kevin Durant. I wanted to see Kevin carry a team because I believe he is, if he had a dug down deep inside, he could have done that. And that's the disappointment I have with him. But Ken, what's up? What's up?
Mike, I'll say this. Kevin, I think he's averaging 26, 28 a game. You know, I mean, dude is just a freak of nature. I mean, 7 feet tall, who can just take it off the dribble, just shoot from anywhere. I'll say Kevin Durant is definitely a top 20 all time. Maybe top 15.
Yeah. I would. I definitely top 20. Definitely top 20. Probably can make an argument for top 15. If you break it down and you talk about shooting forwards, then he's in the top 5. You know what I mean? Like if you there's some way, and if you say who would you want to have the ball in the last second, then he might be that dog up there at top 1. So we no way gonna disparage any type of talent that this brother has.
Just past Mike, as far as number of points, throughout this career. But Mike, come on, man. Kevin then went back to the burner account, said let's just say some negative things about Jabari Smith Jr. I'm maybe pronouncing up or messing up his name. Sungum.
Oh yeah, you talking about Shangun?
Shangun. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying to myself, come on, man. This is your teammates. This is the people that you're supposed to be ride and die with it. And I'm just like saying to myself, and we know the past with Phoenix, Brooklyn. I'm probably missing another team, but man,
well, you got he started with Seattle, right? And you go to OKC. You got Brooklyn. You got Golden State. You got Houston. Come on. I mean, Phoenix, yeah.
I'm like, man, come on.
If that's not speed team dating, I don't know what is, bro. And you know what, man? It's amazing to me that a guy of that talent, like you said, legendary talent, that he felt the need that he could not be satisfied in a spot in his career where he could have stayed there and really we could have him up in those conversations when you talk about Kobe, when you talk about Mike, when you talk about even Karl Malone and Stockton and Dirk Nowitzki, when you talk about these players that stayed at a place and played their entire career, Steph, that's a different level, man. I don't care. You can say, well, he's he might be a better player, this and the other thing. I have more respect for Devin Booker when it comes to the game of basketball than I do for Kevin Durant. Why? Because Devin, he stayed. He was loyal, and they were loyal to him. Now, it's one thing if the franchise not loyal to him. Now, Ken, I'm not going to say Kev was a problem in every situation he was in. I'm not going to say that because I'm old enough to know sometimes you got to go ghost. So I'm not judging any specific situation, but I'm looking at all of the situations, and I'm
The
saying that,
totality.
man, and I'm just saying you too great. You too great for a franchise, in my opinion, for a franchise to not say, hey, look, bro, hey, we're going to give you everything. What you need. You know, how can we make this?
Right.
You're just too great for that, man. So I just, again, it's the same old story. And this is where I will segue to Giannis. Go ahead and leave, y'all. Go ahead. Go ahead on the other side and see how green it is. Go ahead and see how that's going to work out for you. Because, Ken, we have had more situations where even when LeBron went to go play with the great Dwayne Wade and they brought in Chris Bosh and they had Haslam and they had all these Chalmers, they had all these, what they do the first year, fell on their face.
Yeah.
Okay. And matter of fact, got embarrassed.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, they won a couple, but what happened? They all went their separate ways. Right?
Right.
So see what I'm saying, Ken? It just I don't know, man. I just think it's so much of it's the greatest hits. We've seen it before with Barkley. We've seen it before with you. We've seen all these guys move around, and it doesn't add to success.
It don't, because I think after the All-Star break, Houston is like 10-9. When the season first started, you know, they were hot. They came out the gates, you know, smoking. And, you know, everybody say, oh, Houston, you know, they going to compete, you know, for Eastern Conference Finals. I'm like, okay, all right. Now, you know, I think that the thing about it, Mike, is that I've never seen one player to be so sensitive, Mike, as Kevin Durant. I mean, I don't know Kevin from a can of paint, but I'm just like, man, come on, dude. And the thing about it is just that he takes everything, to me, in my opinion, personal. I'm saying, man, you one of the greatest players that ever played the game. I'm like, dude, you know, take that criticism, move on. I mean, Kevin just want to play ball. But, you know, the thing that concerns me in Houston, if Kevin asks to be traded or moved, his legacy, it will be done as far as that's concerned. As far as a player, you know, like I said, top 20.
I don't think I don't think he thinks like that. I mean, and the reason why I say that, and again, I mean, it is disingenuous for me to say how I think the man thinks, because I would never know that. But from what I will say, my observations of him as a player, and never as a person, because I would make observations of him as a person. I don't know him. But as a player, if these things are true, things that he has said with these different accounts, because that's based upon basketball, that's just not conducive for the locker room, for players, and who knows, man. Kevin comes with a certain sort of I think a lot of these players come with a certain sort of intimidation factor. Think about it. If LeBron joins your team, you like, oh man, we got
we got to take care of it, right?
Yeah, like, you know, when LeBron walk in the locker room, you like, oh, that's LeBron. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, he ain't just no average, and Kev ain't no average dude. So when Kev join your team, it's like, and he's 7 feet, he walk in, you looking up at him, he looking down at you. You know, there's a different dude in the room. And so for me, man, his impact is, if these things are true, things I be saying, man, that's even more difficult, because you have looked at him in such a extinguished, you know, this distinguished light, you know, this prowess that he has, man. And so I just, again, if he leaves Houston, would you be shocked though?
No.
Okay.
No.
I wouldn't. Man, I wouldn't be shocked, man, if I saw a team that had next year that had Giannis, LeBron, and KD on it. I wouldn't be shocked. It's been done before.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be shocked, man, where these players think that they can come together and they can do it. Brooklyn. Okay, we had the trio in Brooklyn, and then we had the trio in Phoenix.
Nah,
okay. So what I'm saying is, like, I would not be shocked, Ken. But as we move toward the play-in, Ken, who do you got? Who do you think people should be looking out for in the East, in the West, that could be, we won't say Cinderella, but we will say who you think can definitely make the playoffs interesting that nobody's really thinking about?
Mike, we talked about Charlotte earlier in the show. I mean, I think that, once a play-in or playoffs get started, I don't think anybody wants to look at Charlotte. Nobody whatsoever. On In the Western Conference, I'm gonna say I think that teams really don't want to play Minnesota,
Mm,
even though
mm,
they're hurt, Ant-Man is out.
yeah.
But I think that they right now between them and San Antonio, they playing the best basketball, even without their superstar. So those are the two teams that I look at.
Yeah, that's I would add to the East, I would add I don't think anybody wants to play Atlanta.
They
I'm just gonna
playing
be
well now.
honest. Atlanta's playing well, man. I don't think I don't think anybody want to play Atlanta and Charlotte. And I also will make a prediction. Detroit will not make the NBA finals.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they're gonna make the NBA finals this year. I think they've had a tough year. I would be not shocked if Boston got back there again. I think Boston is the most complete team, depending on if JT can. You can see he's still rusty. He's
Right.
still coming back, but I just think Boston is probably the most solid team. Cleveland, you can send
Mm.
Cleveland home. Disappointment. And I think Charlotte. I think Charlotte is. I agree with you now. Um, on the West Coast now. Um, so I agree. But I just think it's the West to me is
Wide
San
open.
Antonio or the Thunder. That's it. Nobody's gonna beat either one of those teams in a 7 game series. And I think they probably will end up playing for the the conference finals in the Western. And I and
Right.
and and I think it's gonna be a hell of a battle, bro, because San Antonio got their number.
But Mike, I'll say this: don't slip on Denver.
Yeah, I'm not gonna slip on Denver, but I just don't think. I don't think Denver has the athleticism. I think they're solid. I think anytime again, to me, Denver's key is Murray. What Murray
Yeah.
gonna give you? If Murray plays at an all-star level, then I will give Denver a shot. If he doesn't, and I just think Denver used to have the Thunder's number, but they don't anymore because they have too many athletic wings, power forwards. They too fast, too aggressive. But Ken, I wouldn't be shocked. I wouldn't be shocked. Denver's Denver. Denver's playing good ball. They're in I think fourth place now. But nah, but I would say it's
It
the
should come
Thunder
down
or
to
the
or
Thunder.
San
And,
Antonio.
and and I do think the West will win the championship again this year. I don't think the East will get it. I'm just
Okay,
I just
I can't argue
that's
that. Yeah.
that's you heard it here today, folks. Some predictions and but tell us as we move, who do you think's gonna make? Because you can look at the play-in. The play-in is pretty much sat now when it comes to the East. It's just who's gonna really be in it. But the teams like the Bucks are not gonna make it. Uh, you know, um,
Chicago.
Chicago's not gonna make it. And who else is under there? I can't even think.
Whatever,
But
whatever
anyway,
bad teams are out there, let me stop.
Indiana's not
In the
gonna
end,
make
right?
it,
They go.
and so we know really pretty much what the play-in is
It's
gonna look. But it's this only a few games between the 6th, 7th, 8th
Yeah, right. It's more
spot.
about positioning than anything
It's
else.
more about positioning, bro. So, but let us know who you think will ultimately be in the playoffs. Let us know what you think about tanking and what you think about expansion, because that's a serious conversation that I think will have real ramifications on the NBA moving forward as far as competitiveness. But Ken, last word, my brother.
Last word, Mike. So this is more about college basketball than anything.
Okay.
I think Arizona will win the national title.
They look good, don't they?
Yeah, they do. And they're
They
doing it
look
with
good.
freshmen.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's usually if you stay in college more than 1 year, you're not NBA material. Let's just be honest. Nowadays, you get some, you get some 2, 3, but if you've been in college 4 years, more than likely you didn't go in the draft for a reason. So
Right.
you're right, Ken. Freshman. Is that the last word, Ken?
That's it, Mike. That's it.
All right, folks, the world of sports unites us. Let us take this unity into our everyday life. This is why they play the game.